Hello and welcome guys, Vale Entertainment here. Today I'm going to explain to the first episode of an apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic and drama TV series based on the most popular video game The Last of Us. Spoilers ahead, be aware and take care. In the opening scene we are shown in 1968 a live TV show was broadcasted where the host and his guests were discussing about possibility of viral epidemic outbreak and what is the solution of such scenario. The guest scientist advised that although it is possible for humans to overcome bacterial and other kind of outbreak but it's impossible to contain an outbreak of fungal disease. The host and the audience laughed at the comment because there were no evidence that fungi can cause diseases in humans as they were not able to survive in the human body. So the guest explained that if the fungi should evolve by any mean then there is a chance that they acquire the ability to perforate among humans and there will be no way to fight this. Then we see Sarah, daughter of Joel, wake up in the morning along with her father and eat their breakfast. Sarah mentions that Joel's birthday is today and he should come home early from work. At the moment Sarah's uncle and Joel's younger brother Tommy joins them. Then the two of them discuss about their work. At that moment a news was announced in the radio about many incidents of violence in Jakarta, capital of Indonesia, and they are cautioning everyone traveling there. After breakfast Sarah got ready for school and before leaving she took Joel's broken watch and some money from her father's wardrobe. Before leaving for school she met their neighbor and asks about their day. She also got an invite to visit and spend some time at their house after her school was finished. She finishes her school and then took a bus to a watch repair shop, where she was able to fix her father's watch at a discounted price. The repair guy told her that emergency vehicles were moving frequently from the morning till now as siren can be heard in the background. A few minutes later an agitated woman, presumably wife of the repair guy, enters the shop and told Sarah to leave as they are closing the shop early. Luckily the repair guy was able to fix the watch quickly so she took the watch and left there bewildered. Then she visited her neighbor's house and get welcomed by an elder lady who is the wife of the neighbor. After she went inside, Mercy the dog came to greet her. They then started to bake some cookies. Afterward Sarah completed her homework. After finishing her homework she browsed through her neighbor's movie collection. Unbeknownst to her, though, the disabled mother of the neighbor started twitching and stops afterward. She then asked to borrow Joel's favorite movie and gets permission. The moment she started to leave she notices that the dog is acting strangely. At night Joel returns home and Sarah reminds him that he forgot to bring the cake. She proceeds to give the fixed watch to Joel and told how she fixed it. She also tells him that she has borrowed his favorite movie and they can watch it together. Sarah fell asleep watching the movie but Joel was awake. Suddenly he got a call from an unknown number, but it turns out to be his younger brother calling from jail to bail him out, otherwise he will have to stay in jail for whole weekend. Joel reluctantly gets up and puts Sarah in her bed, then he left to get his brother. Suddenly Sarah wakes up to the sound of explosion and rumbling coming from outside. She gets up to check and gets frightened by the sound and shaking of the house. She looks for Joel in his room but didn't find him. Then she gets downstairs and turn on the TV where emergency notice was broadcasted for residents to stay indoor. Suddenly Marcy the dog gives her jump scare by knocking on the window of the living room. She gets outside and pets the dog, who is visibly afraid. She tried to get the dog to the neighbor's house but the dog was adamant not go inside and runs away from her. Sarah then slowly went inside the neighbor's house despite the eerie atmosphere and gets terrified seeing a trail of blood leading to the gravely injured neighbor and his dead wife, whose dead body was attacked by the neighbor's infected mother. Sarah runs away from the house and luckily Joel arrives with his brother in time and saves Sarah by striking and killing the infected with a wrench. Then Joel, Tommy and Sarah get on their car to leave. Before that Joel warns his other neighbor who came out to see what's happening. Then they ran over the infected wife of the neighbor and proceeded to go to the highway exiting the state. Along the way they saw one of their friends' places burning. Unfortunately for them the highway was blocked off by the military to contain the outbreak. They were forced to take a detour through a town. By the time they arrived chaos already had broken out. The streets are crowded and blocked by scared civilian and crashed cars. There are also infected running amok and attacking the civilians. At that moment a plane crash landed and flying debris from this plane caused them to lose control of their car and turn over. Miraculously everyone survived and they got out of the turned vehicle minutes before a police car collided with their car, thus blocking Sarah and Joel in an alleyway and separating them from Tommy. Tommy said to them to find another way, but when they were looking Sarah and Joel got spotted by an infected and it started chasing them until a soldier kills it and saves Joel and Sarah. The soldier holds them at gunpoint and Joel hurriedly explained that they were not infected. The soldier proceeds to communicate with his commander and Joel consoles Sarah. But Joel was gobsmacked when the soldier again pointed the gun towards them. He pleaded with the soldier but the soldier shoots anyway. Joel tried to evade in the last moment but got grazed and fell in ditch. The soldier then aimed at Joel again to finish the job but got killed by Tommy, who has arrived just now. When Joel checks Sarah, to his utter horror he finds that she got shot at her stomach and she is bleeding out. To Joel's heart-wrenching anguish Sarah dies in his arm. Next 20 years had passed since the outbreak, which was identified as cordyceps infection, and Fedra, a military dictatorship, has taken control over the last remaining human settlements. A survivor who is a little boy comes to such settlement and collapses due to hunger and dehydration. He was taken to a room for observation and get tested for infection, which resulted in positive. Then the Fedra officer gave him some sedative. In the next scene, some people are shifting and turning dead bodies in a big makeshift fire pit, while others are throwing dead bodies into the fire. They are surrounded by many Fedra personnel. After they completed unloading one truck, another one arrives with new bodies, in which we can see the boy who arrived at the settlement earlier. Joel throws his body into the fire emotionlessly. Next, Joel shovels the leftover ash after burning the dead bodies. In a minute their shift ends and Joel goes to collect his payment from the officer in charge. He also inquires about any other possible jobs, preferably a high-paying one. The officer informs him of two jobs. One is sweeping the streets and the other is maintenance of the sewer, which is the high-paying job Joel was looking for. While Joel was walking, he saw an execution of some citizen for violating the law imposed by Fedra. A guard then beckons Joel to follow him to somewhere private, where he proceeds to give Joel money, but Joel says he is short. The guard reluctantly gives some makeshift cigarette as alternative. Satisfied with the payment, Joel gives some pills to the guard. Next we see a woman named Tess being held captive in a room by some ruffians, and she is roughed up. While she was conversing with her captor's leader Robert, the room they were in blew up and the blast killed everyone beside her and the leader. She escapes through the blasted hole and stumbles upon a battle between the Fedra and a rebel force known as Firefly. She was captured by the Fedra personnel on suspicion of being a Firefly sympathizer. 14-year-old Ellie can be seen held captive by the Firefly rebel, where they are conducting tests on her speech, memorization and physical condition. And Ellie was very angry for being held captive like this. Joel goes to communication post to see if they were able to hear anything about his little brother Tommy. He also gives the cigarette that he had gotten from the guard to the postmaster. But the postmaster gives him bad news that they didn't heard from his brother, but they did locate him, which is Wyoming. Joel gets frustrated and demands to know the location of his brother. The postmaster persuades him not to depart on this journey, as the distance between the location is very long and there is also dangers of the infected, raiders and slavers. But Joel was adamant that he had to know if his brother was safe. So the postmaster reluctantly gives him the address of his brother. Joel gets home and brings out the hidden maps and weapons hidden underneath the floorboards. He plans a route from his current location to his brother's location. He also drinks heavily and takes a pain-numbing pill and goes to sleep in the bed. Some time later Tess comes and cuddles Joel, thus revealing they are together. Joel wakes up the next morning and finds Tess in the kitchen getting drinks. He sits down and tells her about his visit to the postmaster and the information he has obtained from him yesterday. When Tess sits down with him, he saw that her eyes were swollen and she has small cuts and bruises on her face. He was startled and quickly starts to treat them and asked her who did this. She told him she got jumped by teenagers looking for drugs and she got locked up by the Fedra. She also tells him that the plan to buy car batteries has been derailed as the buyer double-crossed them and sell it someone else, and they plan to get it back from the supplier before the deal can go through by any means necessary. Then in the next scene we get to know Marlene, who is leader of the Firefly rebel for the current settlement. She was asked by her frustrated lieutenants why are they attacking the Fedra frequently and at small targets, while doing so they are losing men. She explained to them that by attacking smaller targets they are creating diversion to attract the Fedra's attention so they can slip through a cargo to their main base, which is Ellie, who has been held captive in their hideout because she is immune to the fungal infection. Next we see Joel standing guard while Tess is obtaining information about the supplier in exchange of money. Marlene set Ellie free and told her that she was the one who put Ellie into the orphanage. Marlene told her that she did that to protect her. She also told Ellie that she has an immune system which doesn't compromise in the face of fungal infection. Also, it is possible to get a cure from her blood. Joel and Jess took the old metro tunnel to go to their destination, which is the buyer place that was coincidentally same place where the Firefly rebel hideout is. They were startled to find a corpse which has been fully consumed by the fungi infection. Then they proceeded to climb the ladder to come to the upper level. But the access door was blocked by something from the other side. They also saw a trail of blood flowing under the door, thus they force open the door. What greeted them was a bloodbath. The supplier they are looking for are dead among the many Firefly rebels. They also heard some disturbance around the corner. So they followed the sound and found the wounded Marlene and one of her lieutenants. While Joel was stalking them from afar, Ellie attacks him with a knife from one of the room. He dodged the lung from Ellie and disarmed her. Afterward he stepped on the knife so that Ellie wasn't able to get it and hold her at gunpoint. Joel and Tess belittles Marlene for working with a two-faced smuggler. Marlene acknowledged that and said it was necessary for their mission. She tells everyone to calm down, and then she explained to Joel that they were preparing to smuggle Ellie out of the settlement and send her to the main Firefly base, but they were ambushed and wiped out. So she proposes that if Joel and Tess accept the mission to deliver Ellie to their base, they will be compensated with everything they wanted. Joel and Tess accepts the mission from Marlene. After accepting the mission from Marlene, Joey and Tess brought Ellie to their home. Then Tess left to gather information about the route they should take. Joel takes some rest in the couch. After some time, Tess returns and they set off. They use the sewage tunnel to get outside the settlement wall. They move carefully, avoiding the searchlights and patrols of Fedra. Although they were able to evade many patrols, unfortunately they were discovered by a guard. To Joel's surprise, the guard was the one he did business before, so he tried to negotiate out of the situation, but the guard having none of it, he started to test them for infection. While he was checking Ellie, she strikes the leg of the guard with her knife. The guard got furious and started pointing the gun at them. This triggers a flashback in Joel's mind about how his daughter died, and he tackles the guard to the ground while furiously punching the guard. He bludgeoned the guard to his death with his bare fist. After that, they went into the direction of their destination. That's it for today. Give a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more video like this, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you guys for your attention and see you at the next one.